So, I mean, it basically all started for me back in the late 90s, where I was going to college in Boston, went to Boston College, had a great time there. And I was super stoked to be an English teacher. That's what I wanted to do since high school. I had a high school English teacher who really inspired me. I love the movie Dead Poets Society. I thought that was so cool. Robin Williams having kids stand on the desk, oh, Captain, my Captain. I just thought that was, for me, what I wanted. So super passionate about it. Went through college, got towards the end. I was doing my practice teaching in Boston, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Had kids, don't call me Mr. Schubert. Come on, man, I didn't do all my homework. Here I am, a kid from Georgia, kind of getting used to the accents and the culture, but it was a lot of fun. I did some teaching in a couple of private schools and then one in public school, totally different situations. But I thoroughly enjoyed the teaching aspect of it. I think I always have, which is why I'm doing this now for you, because I want to teach you what I've learned from growing an insurance agency and growing a book of business. But I got towards the very end. I actually went on to do my master's degree in higher education. I thought I want to work maybe in a university setting after that. But when I got towards the end of my practice teaching and I was graduating, and I was literally downtown Boston with my parents who'd flown up from Georgia to come to my graduation the next day. And I was talking with my dad and he said, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to come work with me in the agency? I said, oh, no, absolutely not. I saw how stressful it was for you every day. I saw how you really had all these challenges building the business, and not that he didn't do well at it. It was stressful. And I didn't want to have anything to do with that. And he said, well, what do you have at this point? And this is when I was getting my master's degree, actually. And he said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I've got a job lined up to actually run the student center at Dartmouth, which was, I thought, a pretty big deal. But then he said, you don't really seem happy about it. You don't really seem passionate about it. I said, well, I don't know. I mean, I've been dating this girl, and now she's my wife now. She grew up in New England. Neither of us were really excited about being in the middle of nowhere in the dead of winter in New Hampshire for years to come. And so I said, I don't know. I'm not really sure. And he said, you sure you don't want to come work with me? I said, no, I really don't. He said, let me teach you what this is about. Let me kind of, pull back the curtain so you understand. It's so much more about serving people. I know you've spent all of this time studying education and you're super excited about it, but it's all about serving people, and it's about the people aspect of it, which to me was why I got into education in the first place. I love the leadership aspect of it. And I think that's why I really enjoy most of all what I'm doing now. If I look back on it, I did have the opportunity to go through, various different roles coming up in the agency. But I think when I look back to it at that moment, when I was sitting in that hotel room with my dad in Boston, it kind of clicked. Yeah, it really is about the people aspect of it. And the experience that I had teaching in Boston was fun, but at the same time, the kids weren't standing on top of the desk. They weren't chanting, oh, Captain, my Captain. It wasn't the Hollywood vision that I had in my head. And I thought, maybe there's something to what he's saying. So kind of reluctantly, I said, all right, I will commit to you to give it a shot for a year, and we'll figure it out after that. And he said, no problem. Like, no hard feelings. If it doesn't work out, you can absolutely walk away, go back to teaching, do whatever you feel like you're called to do. And so I did. I gave it a shot. I started actually August of 2001. So I've been here in Southern States Insurance now for 20 years. It was interesting because we just celebrated, or not celebrated, but commemorated the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I'd only been working for a month when that happened. I was actually, true to form, talking about helping people, serving people. I was on my way to a funeral for one of our employees' mothers. And thinking back on that now, I didn't really think about that until just now, actually. Even then, I was truly in the moment, being there for someone in their time of need. Even though it wasn't a client like we normally think of in insurance, it was one of our own employees. And thinking back on that day, obviously the impact that the rest of that day had, that does leave an impression with me that maybe this is really what I was meant to do. So I basically spent the next 5 to 10 years going through the transition from education into insurance, which none of us in the insurance field really started out as, a 10-year-old thinking, I can't wait to be an insurance agent one day, right? None of us think that way, but we all fall into it somehow. And I think the lesson for me is that really it doesn't matter what you focus your time on at any point in your life. If you feel like there's something that you're truly passionate about, truly passionate about, you can always pivot. Case in point, a couple of weeks ago, we had an employee who emailed me, and she's been with us for about 2 years, and she's been a client service rep. Love her to death. And she sent an email and said, Jim, I am so sorry to tell you this, and I wasn't looking, but an opportunity fell in my lap to basically work as an admin in the local fire department here. And I wasn't surprised at all, because I knew that in the meetings that we'd had every week with the client service staff, every time she would give her update on Good News Personal, Good News Professional, she would always light up when she talked about anything that she was doing volunteering with the fire department. And it just made me feel like, yeah, I totally get it. I was there. I get it. You follow your passion, and it doesn't matter what you've done up to that point. So no hard feelings for her, and we're going to miss her dearly, but at the same time, I'm really happy for her because she is following that. Now for me, I was taking a leap of faith. I didn't know that I was necessarily following my passion, but very quickly I learned that I loved working with people. From working as a personal lines agent, just getting my feet wet, then moving into commercial lines marketing, and having a feel for working with, carriers and our producers, and then moving into production and learning how to work directly with clients. And then of course, on the other side of that, carriers, to have that relationship to serve our clients and to help our carriers grow and to help our agency grow. It just really all stuck and it made sense. So as the years went on and I got further into management, and then ultimately the last few years being an owner of the agency, it's still all about the people. And I accidentally found my passion, which was really there all along, even back to those teaching days of, I joke with people that now I just manage bigger kids and before I was managing smaller kids or teenagers, but it's all the same. And I wouldn't change a thing. Looking back on it now, I would absolutely do it all the same. So I really encourage you to find your passion, even if it's by accident, and just go for it. So if there's something in the agency that you're looking to get more involved in, or if it's maybe a group of clients that you'd like to focus on, I challenge you to find whatever that is and just go for it.